Okay guys, quick video here. I just came from the Honda parts dealership that I have near me. I bought a brand new Honda genuine um uh oh my god, sorry, CV shaft seal for my transmission. This is the driver's side seal. Um this is the seal that came in this bag. Um, it unfortunately leaked. Um, I called the store and they told me, that was really, really weird. So they said, hey, maybe the seal's faulty, but you shouldn't have taken it off. You should have called us first and whatever. You should have taken that part to an Honda dealership to get the part inspected while it was still mounted in the car, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know all this COVID-19 stuff. I just couldn't get them on the phone. I couldn't get the store on the phone, and I took it off, not knowing that I wasn't supposed to, and I was supposed to take it to on the dealership to get it checked while it was still mounted. So I said, hey, you know what? I don't care if I have to buy a new one. I just want to get this fixed. I don't want this to leak. I just bought some Honda genuine transmission. It's leaking everywhere. So they sold me a knockoff version of the Honda seal, and it also leaked. So here we have the original seal that was on. It was actually pretty damaged, but this one wasn't leaking. So I call them again and I tell them, hey, the knockoff version you sold me is leaking too. So we came up with a way to fix this problem, and the way to fix it is to take these springs that come inside the seal very carefully. You'll take it off, and this is the one that was in the seal that wasn't leaking, which is this one, right? So how did I get the spring from this to this? Well, if you see the spring closely, you'll see this part here. You see this little line there? Well, it's actually like it's you just twist that and you'll be able to get it to this, because let me see if I can, that tip you see here, it's a little bit thinner than this side because it screws into this part. So you unscrew the small tip from the big tip, and basically this is your screw and this is the nut. So what you want to do is you want to cut off the larger side, because this is the one that's going to screw in. So you don't want to ruin the small side. You want to cut the larger hole. You just want to cut it off a little bit. I'll open one of these up for a reference. I'll try and do it with the camera looking at it. So you see, let me get it to focus. There's a line. That's where you unscrew it, right? I'll try and do it on there. So you unscrew it, and basically you just want to cut off the tiniest bit. I'm gonna try and get them side to side to compare. Okay, this one isn't cut and this one is cut. I already cut this one, so I'm not gonna be cutting anything in the video, but just for reference, I'll try and get this as straight as possible so you can see just how much I had to cut. I just had to cut like that much. I cut off that much, and by making it shorter, the radius is smaller. So when you insert then this again to your seal, um, this is gonna be tighter on the CV shaft's lip here, because this lip supposedly gets um, uh, it just wastes the metal a bit. So there's no bump or anything on mine, but the marks are there. So I'm gonna guess that this is the problem. I'm gonna mount this and we'll see if this fixes it, because with the long spring, as it comes OEM, it just leaks. So we're gonna use the one I just cut, which is this one. I already cut it and I already closed it, but this one is the non-cut one OEM, and this one was already cut, but it's all messed up. So I'm just not gonna use it because it's like bent and shit, you know. So this is one I cut. I'm gonna put this in one of the two seals. I'm gonna try and use the Honda genuine one, because you know this is a knockoff version. You know, better stick with Honda. So I'm gonna put this spring onto the Honda genuine retainer, and I'm gonna mount this, put oil back into the transmission, and we'll find out if it stops leaking or not. Okay, just for reference, guys, the guy told me that these marks would tell you whether the CV shaft was a manual or automatic. Pretty sure it's manual, even though he couldn't tell me with the numbers he has on his computer. I'm sure it's manual because the automatic one, the retainer is different, I think. And this has been in the car, and it had a manual seal. It was working just fine, even though the old seal did have a shorter spring. So that kind of makes sense to why the new ones didn't work, because the springs were longer and it wasn't applying the same amount of pressure to the lip of the CV shaft over here. So we'll find out in a second if it's leaking or not. You just have to put the header back on because I had to take it off. It makes the job a lot easier. That way you can see what you're doing. But you should, before you mount anything, you should inspect the hole here. There shouldn't be any visible like marks. I don't know if you guys use screwdriver or what you use to take off the seal, but you really have to watch out that you don't ruin the transmission bell housing where the seal goes in. You really don't want to mess that up. So check that out first. If you do see that there is some nick or anything in the bell housing, you probably have a problem with your bell housing, and it doesn't have to do anything with the seal or the spring, like in my case. So we'll just find out in a second when I mount the header if it was the spring, and if the shortened spring actually fixes the problem, or if it's actually a bell housing or the shaft. I'm sure it's a manual shaft because, like I said, it did have a manual seal. It was working fine. The only problem, the only difference was that the new seals have the longer spring, like OEM. It comes out OEM, and the old seal that it did have and wasn't leaking had a shorter spring. So we'll just find out in a second. Bear with me. Well, I just got the transmission fluid in. Look at that quick start, bro. Okay, it usually doesn't leak while the car is standing still. It usually leaks while I'm driving, so let's just try it. No leak. No leak. No leak yet. We still don't have a leak. I'm gonna leave it in gear. Some gear. No leak. Beautiful. I think it worked. It hasn't leaked yet. It usually starts to leak when I start driving it. It won't leak while it's standing still, but as soon as I put it in gear and I start driving, all of a sudden transmission fluid all over the damn floor. It's really frustrating, really, because you know you're trying to get your car to run right. You know, you do everything right. You buy genuine transmission fluid from Honda. You buy a genuine retainer for your CV shafts, and it just starts leaking all over the place. You know, it's horrible. You know, it's terrible. You know, I just wasted like $80 on an Honda genuine seal, the knockoff version, plus the 3 quarts of oil that I bought. You know, it's ridiculous. You know. For now, no leak. Let's check again. No leak. Beautiful. Awesome. No leak. There's no leak. Oh my God. Beautiful. So, again, what you want to do is you want to cut this spring just about yay much. I used this to cut it. So you just want to cut off a bit, not that much. You want to test it on the CV shaft, put it in the lip where it will go, and you'll feel that once you shorten the spring, the seal enters a bit more. You have to force it in a bit more. You know, it's not like it's hard to get in, but you know, you just have to push it a bit harder, and that will cause it to seal better here, because it was leaking here. Apparently it wasn't the bell housing for the transmission. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything, just leave them in the comment section down below. I'll answer your comments, and you know, I'll read them all. Just before I stop this video, you could also try to push it out a bit more. Once you put it in the bell housing, the transmission bell housing, you could leave it out just a bit more. That way the lip is having contact with a different area and not the same area it was contacting in the CV shaft. You know, so the seal can seal in the lip of the CV shaft better. What I did is I put it how I'd usually put it, but I used the shorter spring instead of the long spring. So shout out to Alex. He was the one that gave me this idea, him and his mechanic. So shout out to Alex, bro. Thank you for helping me out. I hope this helps out someone else. So this was a Acura Integra B series. All B series transmissions have the same seal, so this should work for all GSR, Type R, B16, LS, RS, whatever, you name it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.